Dr.
Yeah.
Kia, many people sense that something significant is happening on the global stage. And of course, you have the attention of the world when you speak on a global level. Um, the guests you have, or just your sheer perspective and insight that you share. So, from a geopolitical and financial perspective, what are some of the major shifts taking place right now that everyday people should be um, paying attention to? I mean, Cynthia mentioned the thing about Zelle. I mean, I'm thinking Zelle's the only place where you can send something and they don't take anything out, or they don't. Now they probably want to try to monitor that and so forth. So where is where do you stand on that?
In terms of the global shifts that I see happening, I see, I can't hear you.
Go ahead. It was me. I was behind you and
I'm,
realizing you were answering me.
oh, I couldn't hear you. Okay. In terms of the global shift, I'll speak monetarily because I heard our sister ask who's in charge of the money and whose money are we using. That's a great question because we have been using money that was, you had curses on it, money that was controlled by the deep state or the federal government, and the Federal Reserve central banking system. But that is being changed over to now the money is going to be, we're going to be in charge of the money. So I'll make this quick. Representative Thomas Massey from Kentucky has pushed forward bills to actually destroy the Federal Reserve banking system, and it's called the End or Abolish the Federal Reserve Act. While he's doing that, as I mentioned earlier, the Supreme Court of the United States overturned not only the Chevron doctrine to demolish the government, but also to say that state-sponsored banks now can disband from the Federal Reserve central banking system and issue out their own gold-backed currency. So that's encouraging because now what we're saying is that states are now operating in their sovereign capacity, which is in alignment with the republic, our lawful government. The republic says that each state is a country. So now all the states are passing laws using the tools of the deep state, their bills, to actually and writing laws and legislation to actually make sure they align with the republic. So who was in charge of the money was the Federal Reserve central banking system, as we all know, and we were using their money, but now we'll be using gold, silver, and copper. People don't sleep on copper, okay? Copper was just added to the United States of America's critical minerals list along with silver. Well, we know why, because, we know what that means. We know who the true Americans, the original Americans are, the copper colored races discovered here by Europeans. We know that copper historically has been used as money. Don't sleep on copper, and I'll leave it there. In this new monetary system, the banks will all collapse. That's why you've seen hundreds of banks collapse over the last 10 years. Because that banking system was a part of maritime law and admiralty law, which is the law of the water. And that has nothing to do with us. The law of the waters, according to the United States Incorporated, is a part of them. We're moving from maritime law to the laws of the land. So all of that is collapsing. All the banks are collapsing. The banks that remain are turning into wealth management centers. You can look that up online. They're all transitioning to wealth management centers because the whole planet's going to be wealthy. The silver, gold, palladium, platinum, all the riches all over the world will be released to the people. I've spoken to people who are over certain trusts, family trusts, the Rodriguez Trust, the Saint Germain Trust. In fact, I know who's the person who will release the Rodriguez Trust, the Saint Germain Trust, all these ancient dynasties trusts where these dynasties have been accumulating wealth for a long time, waiting for this time period that we're living in now, where humanity will be liberated. So the central banking system is collapsing. They're defunct. The state sovereign banks now, they have gold and silver in their coffers. Additionally, you and I, and this is something that people don't realize, you and I, we are the banks, as somebody said, but we are the banks for our families. I know we're the money, but as we're living in this system, I'm saying, in addition to us being the money, We are accumulating silver, gold, palladium, and platinum, and those things right now. Copper. We're accumulating foreign currencies. We're accumulating all those things, and we're setting them up in trust for our family, because we're not waiting on the people that were in power. So we are the money. We are accumulating wealth. We are not only accumulating wealth, but we're also conducting family governance meetings with our own individual families. And we're saying, look, I am the matriarch of this family. And if there's a man, he's the patriarch. This is the way, this is our mission statement for the family. This is our vision statement for the family. These are our values surrounding wealth. Here's our constitution. And this is how we're going to be governing our family. So we are the wealth. We have the banks. Now, in terms of what everybody else is going to be using as money, there'll be 3 ways to use money, because the wealth management centers no longer have the old banking system behaviors or realities. The new wealth management centers have what's called a quantum financial system. The quantum financial system is a living, sentient system that reads people's energy. It reads your energy center. So when you go to access that wealth, they're reading your energy. Some people don't like that, and I get it, because yes, they know everything we're doing. But the good side of that is, now when you're accessing this money, you're not using it to buy babies. You're not using it to traffic humans. You're not using it to get drugs. So they're reading your energy. So the wealth management centers now are taking the place of the banks. We'll be using the quantum financial system, which is a gift from the extraterrestrial beings that are here to monitor the earth plane. They have gifted us with this new system that's completely dismantled from the central bank system. Having said that, we have that quantum financial system. They'll be using 3 different types of monies that way: precious metals, digital assets or digital coins, and new currency that they're calling rainbow currency that is backed by precious metals. What I have encouraged the Soul family to do, because a lot of us don't trust their digital system, and I get that. We don't even trust the wealth management centers to a great extent. But when you get access to your wealth, because we are getting access to our wealth through new laws, which are really old, that will be set in stone, called the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. Through NESARA, after this whole government is dismantled and Trump steps down, after he will have done his job and it's complete, the republic will resurrect. We'll be back in charge of our own wealth. And we will be able to, yes, use the wealth management centers, but you use them, and you'll use the digital coins, you'll use the precious metals, you'll use the fiat, new notes that's backed by silver and gold that will be minted by the United States Treasury Department. Use that to get you some gold. Use whatever system they have to get the money that you need. Use whatever digital assets that you get access to buy gold, and then accumulate and store that. So it's not in their wealth management centers. It's not digitally, recorded. So once you get that, you can wait to get it. Once your trust, you get access to your trust. You can wait till NESARA and GESARA is released and you get access to your money, or you can start accumulating wealth right now and put all your wealth in a trust, because your trust controls your asset. When you put all your assets, your house, your cars, your precious metals, your gold RM notes, you can buy gold RM notes right now for $10. Those are gold backs. You know, I know we don't like really using money. I'm just saying, while we're in the system, you can get gold backs for $10. You can go to APMEX, JM Bullion, SD Bullion, Money Metals, Mint. You can go to goldbacks.com and get gold, because those gold backs, those are gold RM notes, 24 karat gold pressed onto a note that right now today you can use to buy local goods and services. You can use to barter. You can use to pay your property taxes right here in the state of Florida. Why? Because 46 states already have repealed or removed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals, acknowledging silver and gold as money to align with our Constitution for our republic that says silver and gold is money. So they're already minting gold RM notes just to let you know and seed it in your consciousness that we've already returned to the gold standard. So I want everybody to be encouraged to know that the old monetary system is collapsing. You know, the moment you make up your mind, the universe conspires to assist you. Make up your mind that I'm in control. I am God. I am in control. That just means I'm a creator. I'm a co-creator of my own life. Okay. I'm in control. Nobody controls me. I'm not, I'm empowered. So when you do that, then you write out your personal mission statement. What am I here for? You write out your vision statement. What do I see for my future? Then you write your family's mission statement. What's the family here for? And then you write out your family's vision statement. What do we see for ourselves in the future? When you focus on yourself and your family, you don't care about war going around. I mean, you care about the people, but it's not a part of your reality. Because your reality is that you are living and thriving, enjoying life and building up community. Your reality is that you're accumulating wealth for your posterity, meaning your future generations. So set up family governance meetings where you meet with your family and you let them know and to get the buy-in. They can help you with it, what the mission is and the vision is for your family. And then again, put all your assets in trust. That way you don't own the assets. Your trust owns the assets and you control the trust. So who's in control of the money now? I guess they are, of their money and everybody else in 3D. But who's in control of the money in my business, my family? Dr. Kia Pruitt. Who's the matriarch? Dr. Kia Pruitt. Who has to get money in order to do whatever they want to do? They go through Dr. Kia Pruitt, because as the ladies have said, we are the wealth. What money do we use? We use silver, gold, and we taught other people in the community. That's why I always tell people, establish relationships with local merchants in your community and teach them about bartering, silver, and gold. You can go to goldbacks.com right now and put in your zip code, and they will tell you every merchant in your state that accepts silver and gold as money today. Because again, 46 states have already repealed sales taxes from precious metals, meaning they're saying you can't tax metals, which means they're saying metals cannot be no longer used as a commodity. It is real money. So this is what I told people in my family and in the Soul Tribe and in my private group. We control our own reality. We control our own money. We control all that. And we teach people in the community the same thing. And we started bartering too, with exchanging services with people in the community and exchanging the services that they render us for silver and gold. And you can start little by little you can just pay them a tip with silver or with a gold RM note. And that opens up the door for conversation. So I just want to encourage people, because I know people like to talk about, wealth and money. And I really don't want to veer from what we're saying, because we are the money. I agree with that. And I've been blessed by this conversation of them saying that we are the wealth. But stay encouraged, because the monetary system is changing. The governments are changing. Then you have the whole world coalescing against the deep state or the government, United States Incorporated, by joining the BRICS bloc. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. When they joined that bloc, they stopped trading with the dollar and they're using their own local currencies backed by precious metals. They also have their own militaries. They kicked out colonists. Somebody spoke about the African nations, and I'll end with that. The African nations have kicked out colonists and ended the Berlin Conference, which was the scramble for Africa. They had a scramble for America too. You had the Dutch that were here. You had the French that were here. You had the Spaniards. You had the Brits. All were here colonizing the Americas and certain states in America. Why do the people in Louisiana speak French? Because the French colonized them. Why do certain peoples in America, they're very adept at Spanish, including Mexico, which is part of our landmass? Because the Spaniards, colonized them. So there were people that colonized us, people that colonized the African nations, but the African nations kicked them out. Study what the French African nations did: Niger, Senegal, Chad, Burkina Faso, and there's one more. There's one of Mali. They kicked the French colonists out, and now the French government, they were in flux. The whole French economy collapsed. So what they do, they kicked out the whole financial administration in France, because they were like, we can no longer take advantage of Africa and steal their resources. Now they're struggling. So the African nations kicked out the colonists, those that were colonized by French. They led the charge, and they said, we got our own military. They're using their currency. They got the backing of Vladimir Putin if they needed extra help. And so now Africa is saying we're going to be one Africa, have one payments platform system and one passport, and they're working on one currency to unify the African nations. You also have the BRICS bloc, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, those nations where more than 85% of the global population is a part of them. They've stopped trading with the United States dollar. They have their own payment system. So everything is changing in the world. I know I don't have a lot, and I don't want to use too much time, but the financial system is changing. The government is changing. That's why President Trump removed us from 66 international organizations and he established the Board of Peace. The Board of Peace is aligned with Project Sandman. That was a secret agreement decades ago between 209 nations to stop trading with the United States dollar, and they agreed to world peace. I know we see with our eyes war playing out, but you never know what's orchestrated. You never know what's real, what isn't real. But what we do know is that behind the scenes, countries have agreed to world peace. That's why they joined the BRICS bloc. That's why BRICS now has more than 85% of the global population a part of them. That's why the African nations now are standing on their own as one country, unified country. That's why the Middle East now, they've established new economic policies, and they're saying they're stable now. The whole world is saying we're stable and open for business. You cannot believe mainstream media. We have shown proof after proof on our channel and in our private group that even Iran said we're open to American markets a while ago. So a lot of stuff that's playing out on the world stage is really a cover for them taking down the deep state, cleaning out some of these areas like Dubai, because a lot of these billionaires were trafficking children and drugs and had modern day slavery. And so and running money through there and doing all their dirt. So they had to clean it out. Stay encouraged, family. Keep your vibrations high and know that this is your time. Know that you are God. Know that you are a co-creator. Know that you have dominion. Know that you have power and control over your life. And as such, start setting up your family. Get your family in order. Get your mission and vision statement out. Do some family governance meetings and learn about wealth and legacy so that you can take care of your family first and then move out to extend to the community. Because like our sister said, we need each other. So we all need to be meeting the farmers, meeting the hairdressers, meeting the butchers, meeting the people in the community and honing our own skills, because we are the wealth and we are the new government. We are the new factories. We are the new stores. We are the new education centers. The federal United States Federal Department of Education has no money. And President Trump took some of that money and he put it aside and gave it to the states so that we can homeschool our own children and or send them to private school. It's your time. You will have the schools. You will create the schools. You will recreate the spiritual centers. You will create entertainment or music. I know we don't like the word music. I just learned that today, but the music, for lack of a better term, you will create all the things that they control. And you are the new bank or the wealth management center for your family. And I yield.